Since forever ago, endless fights have molded the fate of civilizations. In this video, we dive into the main 10 deadliest skirmishes of old history, clashes that made a permanent imprint on humankind. These fights were not just about area or power, they were about endurance, desire, and the ascent and fall of domains. The Battle of Kadesh. The Clash of Kadesh, battled in 1274 BCE, was a critical struggle between the Egyptian realm under Pharaoh Ramesses II and the Hittite domain drove by Lord Muwatalli II. The fight occurred close to the Orontes waterway in advanced Syria. It included a huge number of chariots, with each side sending their biggest military units of the time. The Egyptians at first fell into a Hittite snare yet figured out how to refocus under Ramesses' initiative. Notwithstanding weighty misfortunes on the two sides, the fight finished uncertainly, prompting the main kept truce ever. This settlement laid out a delicate ceasefire and a point of reference for conciliatory goal of contentions. The Battle of Marathon. The skirmish of long-distance race in 490 BCE was a significant commitment during the primary Greco-Persian conflict. The Persians, drove by Datis and Artaphernes, tried to enslave the Athenians. Regardless of being vigorously dwarfed, the Athenians, drove by broad Miltiades, utilized an essential twofold envelopment strategy. Their trained phalanx development overpowered the Persian powers, compelling them to withdraw to their boats. The Athenian triumph lifted Greek confidence level and denoted the start of Greek obstruction against Persian mastery. The legend of a courier running from long-distance race to Athens to report the triumph motivated the cutting-edge long-distance race. The Skirmish of Thermopylae. The Skirmish of Thermopylae in 480 BCE was essential for Xerxes' enormous attack of Greece during the Second Greco-Persian conflict. Lord Leonidas of Sparta drove an alliance of Greek city-states to shield the restricted pass at Thermopylae. For 3 days, the boundlessly dwarfed Greeks held off the Persian powers, using the geology for their potential benefit. In the end, a Greek swindler named Ephialtes uncovered a secret way to the Persians, permitting them to outmaneuver the safeguards. Leonidas and his men battled until the very end, their penance delaying for the Greek city-states to plan for future fights. The Clash of Gaugamela. The Clash of Gaugamela, battled in 331 BCE, was the definitive commitment between Alexander the Incomparable and Darius III of Persia. Notwithstanding being intensely dwarfed, Alexander's military used better strategies and trained than accomplished triumph. The fight started with Darius sending scythed chariots and war elephants, yet Alexander's soldiers killed these dangers with restrained developments. Alexander's well-known sideways assault and the conclusive rangers' charge at the Persian place constrained Darius to escape, prompting the breakdown of the Achaemenid domain and the foundation of Alexander's territory over Persia. The Skirmish of Cannae. The Skirmish of Cannae in 216 BCE, during the subsequent Punic conflict, was a showstopper of military technique by Hannibal Barca. Confronting a Roman armed force almost 2 times the size of his own, Hannibal utilized a twofold envelopment move. He situated his more fragile soldiers in the middle to draw the Romans in, while his rangers and more grounded powers went after from the flanks and back. The Roman powers were encompassed and demolished, with assessments of north of 50,000 Roman fighters killed. This overwhelming loss severely affected Rome, however the Republic ultimately recuperated and crushed Hannibal in later fights. The Clash of Zama. The Clash of Zama in 202 BCE was the last conflict of the subsequent Punic conflict. Scipio Africanus, driving the Roman powers, confronted Hannibal's Carthaginian armed force on North African soil. Scipio's utilization of trained developments countered Hannibal's conflict elephants, making them alarm and disturb Carthaginian lines. Roman mounted force, under the order of Massinissa, steered the Carthaginian rangers and went after from the back. Hannibal's powers were overpowered, bringing about a conclusive Roman triumph. This fight denoted the finish of Carthage as a significant power and laid out Rome's strength in the Mediterranean. The Attack of Jerusalem. The attack of Jerusalem in 70 CE was a severe and sad clash during the main Jewish-Roman conflict. The Roman armed force, drove by Broad Titus, blockaded the city after a Jewish defiance. The attack went on for quite a long time, during which starvation, infection, and interior hardship crushed the safeguards. Roman powers at last penetrated the city walls, deliberately obliterating Jerusalem and the subsequent sanctuary. The obliteration was disastrous, with many thousands killed and the survivors subjugated or uprooted. This occasion denoted a defining moment in Jewish history and the start of the Jewish diaspora. The Clash of Chalons. The Clash of Chalons, otherwise called the Skirmish of the Catalonian Fields, occurred in 451 CE and was one of the last significant clashes of the Western Roman domain. The Roman general Flavius Aetius, aligned with the Visigoths under Lord Theodoric, confronted the Huns drove by Attila. The fight was furiously challenged, with weighty setbacks on the two sides. The Visigoths assumed a vital part in stopping the Hunnic advance, however Theodoric was killed during the battling. Albeit the fight didn't conclusively end Attila's alarming statement, it denoted a huge mishap for the Huns and protected Western Europe from success. The Skirmish of Actium. The Skirmish of Actium in 31 BCE was a maritime showdown among Octavian and the consolidated powers of Emperor Antony and Cleopatra. The fight occurred close to the Greek coast and was crucial in deciding the fate of the Roman world. Octavian's armada, told by Agrippa, outsmarted and outlived Antony's powers. Cleopatra's retreat with her armada prompted the breakdown of Antony's obstruction. The loss brought about the suicides of Antony and Cleopatra, cementing Octavian's situation as the unchallenged leader of Rome. This triumph denoted the finish of the Roman Republic and the start of the Roman realm under Augustus. The Skirmish of Red Bluffs. The Skirmish of Red Bluffs in 208 CE was a vital turning point in the Three Realms time of Chinese history. The partnered powers of Sun Quan and Liu Bei, told by Zhou Yu and others, confronted the a lot bigger multitude of Chao. Utilizing imaginative strategies, including fire boats to take advantage of Chao's firmly pressed armada on the Yangtze waterway, the partners accomplished a dazzling triumph. Chao's military had to withdraw, losing huge number of men simultaneously. The fight reshaped the political scene of China, prompting the division of the realm into three adversary realms.